Hello and welcome to Fashion Report Friday, the weekly video series trying to get you the absolute most MGP possible from the Mandeville Gold Saucer every Friday when the Fashion Report's judging begins here in the Gold Saucer, obviously. This is week 219 and this week's theme is Regal Exposure. The individual clues include Royal for our helm, Hand in Half Glove for our hands, Dueling Duelist for our feet, and finally Fantastical for our necklace slot. In this video we have a 100 score, an easy 80 with dies, and the easiest 80 possible with a mix of items. Without further ado, let's get straight on to that 100 score. Alrighty then, looking very regal this week for many reasons, but one of them obviously being the crown. So obviously any crown will work for the royal clue. We've had this before in previous fashion reports. I went for the butcher's crown, which is actually from the achievement Let the Bodies Hit the Floor, which is making me almost tempted to break into song there and sing that song by Drowning Pool. But if you've misplaced this, you can go to a Calamity Salvager in a starting city-state, such as the Aft Castle in Limsa Lominsa Upper Decks, and you'll be able to purchase this back for 1,000 gil. Any of the achievement-based crowns will work. This includes the Paragon's Crown, the Chronicler's Crown, the Gambler's Crown will work, Warlord's Crown, and the Partisan's Crown. All of the crowns should work for gold rating, including the Butcher's Crown that I'm using right now. Next then, we have for the gloves, this is the half glove clue. Funnily enough, that clue is kind of the answer. I went for the cotton half gloves because this is equipable by all classes, both genders in the game level 15 and above. You can actually get this from Gwalta or any other low-level city-state armor vendor. In particular, Gwalta here in the Steppes of Thal, you can choose the Disciple of Hand and Land tab, then levels 10 to 19 tab, and this will cost you the low cost of 336 gil. This is the cheapest option out of all of the other options that could be available, but pretty much any half gloves will work, including stuff like the velveteen half gloves, the linen, and the hempen half gloves, to name just a couple others. But of course, this is the easiest to obtain out of all of those, and it's actually the cheapest. So if you've got these lying around, go equip them, or any other half gloves you have. Moving on then for the Dueling Duelist clue, as unfortunately for the 100 you're going to have to go and do either Tharos Sirius hard mode or Saint Mosiani's Arboretum, specifically either of those dungeons, because you need to get some boots from them. Now any of the boots that drop in there for any role will work. I'm just using the boots of the Daring Duelist here for Lancer and Dragoon because that's what I had lying around in my retainers when I did an eye search earlier. But of course you can use the Defiant Duelist, Daring Duelist, Ghost Thief, Lost Thief, Red Thief, the Plague Doctors and Plague Bringers shoes as well will all work. Basically any shoes from Tharos Sirius Hard or St. Mosiani's Arboretum, and those are the only options for that slot this week. And finally, another item that's going to require you to do something. This is actually any Proto-Ultima necklace in the game. It doesn't matter which one you actually exchange for, because it turns out they're all equipable by every class anyway, regardless of which one you purchase, level 60 and above. These are actually obtainable from the Unidentified Flying Object quest, which is a weekly that involves you going and doing Dun Skaith. You can pick up this quest in Idleshire next to the Gobboos, and then go do Dun Skaith, complete Dun Skaith, and you will get completion of that quest. Upon completion of that quest, turn it in, you get a heat shielding which you can exchange at a nearby vendor for a piece of accessory of choice from a Proto-Ultima catalogue. You want any Proto-Ultima necklace. I just went for Slaying because it's the one that I wanted. I don't know, they're all identical and they're all actually equipable by all classes anyway, so it really doesn't matter. Unfortunately, there are no alternatives for that slot. So 100 score, 2 of the items requiring a little bit of effort if you haven't already got the gear, so it might not be everyone's cup of tea. Speaking of which then, let's move on to an 80 with dies. Die options then, as you can see, we got an 82 here, so an 80 with dies. Essentially you need to die any weapon in the game cerulean blue, any helm in the game salmon pink, any chest piece in the game vanilla yellow, any hands in the game pearl white dye, any legs in the game pastel purple, and any boots in the game soot black. This isn't too bad. However, the pearl white and vanilla yellow are both exchanged via Sky Builder scripts. The pearl white is 500 of those Sky Builder scripts, and vanilla yellow is 100. So bear that in mind, unless you're using the market board to get those dyes. Obviously, that can be quite expensive in terms of other currencies like scripts, but the rest of them are pretty much NPC vendor purchased, which isn't too bad, which gives us quite a lot of options for the Easy 80 anyway. But yeah, speaking of which, let's move on to the easiest possible 80 with the less amount of effort possible. Alright, so for the easiest possible 80, this is quite a very simple sort of assortment. I personally chose to have any helm in the game and dyed that obviously salmon pink. Salmon pink is something you can get from low-level city-state dye vendors. There's one in all of the 3 city-states, such as Nana Bay in Uldar's Market District. Salmon pink on any helm. Then I equip those cotton half gloves, which again are available from any low-level city-state armor vendor. These are equipable by all classes level 15 and above and cost the low price of 336 gil. Honestly, you can't get a better option than that. And then for the boots, any boots in the game, soot black dye. Soot black dye, again, you can get that from Ixali vendors or the market board very cheaply. It's one of the cheapest dyes, or it should be. And that's enough to give you an 80. Basically, 1 gold item and then 2 dyes is pretty much all you need. Of course, if you want to go different directions, then obviously you mix and match between the dye options and some of the easy option items, such as the gloves, or say for instance you had the crown or something from an achievement. But that's what I did to get an 80, and yeah, the easiest possible way that I plan to do it on my alts as well for MGP. Quite simple, really. Anyway, thank you so much to the Reddit team, and of course, obviously that will be linked in the description. Give it some upvotes, and of course all of the people worldwide who theorize all of the dye options and things. It's been especially busy for me today, so I've not had to had time rather to participate directly in a lot of that, along with the patch notes coming out and other things. Very busy time ahead of us. I hope you continue to enjoy watching my videos. Next week is going to be absolute video overdose. I'm sure you'll probably like that or hate that, depending on if you like my videos. But thank you for watching them regardless. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.